Warning: this program typically features strong language, sexual innuendo, politically incorrect commentary, and real stories from the road. Viewer discretion is advised. We left off last time preparing to hit the road in our new Troopy for our summer adventures into the Great White North. After shaking out the Land Cruiser in Colorado, we decided the time was right to get going. And our first stop was Wyoming. It did not disappoint. Tell the fine viewers at home the feeling that you had upon leaving Fort Collins in our new Troopy ready to head out and go north.
It was a good feeling. Man, it felt good to be back in a rig and to have the sole goal of traveling in it. You know, our time in our Forerunner was rife with uncertainty, like not really knowing what we were going to do next. But when we hit the road in the Troopy, we knew we were traveling north to uncharted territory, and that was our goal.
Yeah. So we left Fort Collins, and our first stop was somewhere outside of Medicine Bow National Forest. We stopped at a hotel. We actually didn't stay in the hotel. The lady at the hotel let us just camp right outside of it.
Yeah, it was, I think that was the first experience when we hit the road in the Troopy that made me just feel excited and just have that feeling like you never know what you're going to encounter. And we weren't expecting to be able to just camp for free outside of this crazy old hotel in Wyoming. You know, it had all sorts of, it had a lot of history, like all sorts of old paintings and a taxidermy maybe.
Some
inside.
Taxidermy, and it had like interesting wallpaper, and the lighting in there was really cool too. I took a lot of photos in there. I really liked that hotel, but also what was cool about it is that, we read a lot of overlanders' stories, and they say that they'll go to like a gas station in Nicaragua or in Peru, and they'll ask if they can stay at the gas station, like park there. Or you ask at a hotel, can you camp right outside the hotel?
Yeah.
We'd never tried that because in the United States, we have so much open land. And you would think, oh, you're in Wyoming, you're going to camp on BLM because the whole thing is BLM. But for whatever reason, something about this hotel was like, let's go in there and ask if we can camp right here.
Yeah. And they let us, and they were super nice, and it was just a really cool experience.
But that really wasn't the beginning of our adventure. It was just kind of this interesting ease into what we were going to be experiencing. So the next day, we get up and we start driving, and we get through a lot of really beautiful country.
Yeah.
We've driven through Wyoming a bunch of times, but we've never gone
through the middle of the state.
Right.
So we just drove back roads straight up into the middle of Wyoming. And that turned into an interesting experience in and of itself.
I've always imagined that the middle of Wyoming is just grazing land, just like prairie.
Yeah.
But we came across some really cool stuff just south of Casper.
Yeah.
I have no idea what this national forest area is. I don't know what it was called, but it was definitely some kind of
backcountry area. There were like lots of dirt roads and all different kinds of spurs off of it.
And we got on it and we were like, yo, are we in Wyoming or is this Utah? It looked a lot like Utah.
It really did. nice.
Yeah, it doesn't really fix you.
No, it's different. It handles differently. That's why I was kind of nervous after the other stuff I'd already done. I was like, I'm not used to this yet.
She was outside filming, and I was going through these mud puddles, and the Troopy was like fishtailing
all over the place. It didn't feel like we had really
a lot of control. And I was like, yo, I thought like that these Land Cruisers are the top-notch, most, amazing four-wheel drive vehicle. Why does this feel so unstable? Because in the synchro, when we were in mud and stuff like that, I mean, mud does what it does to anybody, as you saw in season 2 when we almost tipped the thing over in mud. But it felt more stable, the synchro did, than the
like
Troopy.
You could respond to it, and kind of go with the flow. But the Troopy just felt like it was pulling away from us in ways that we couldn't really control or turn the steering wheel to compensate for.
Right.
So we learned an important thing about the Troopy, though.
And what it is that the front axle of the Troopy is, it's a certain width, and then the rear axle is 1 inch less wide.
Yeah, more narrow.
More narrow, yeah, whatever. So as you're driving in mud, your tires are creating a path, and your rear tires are creating their own path. They're not following the path of the front tires. But we didn't know why the Troopy was so unstable until much later, and it made a lot of sense that this is why. And we learned that in an interesting way on this mud track in Wyoming.
Man, so around this time is when the snow melt is happening. So all of that region is either still covered in snow or
just
covered
mud.
Yeah, just mud, because all the snow just melted, and it gets like peanut butter. Really, it's crazy.
Super gooey.
It's so slick and gooey. Yeah.
And so we're driving, and I'm like, trying to keep the truck. This is a road. This isn't a back road 4-wheel drive kind of like come and have some fun mudding. No, this is like a cattle ranch road.
Yeah, it's really wide, huge access road that I think is used quite a bit.
Yeah. So I'm driving, and I'm like trying to keep the thing straight, and I turn the wheel all the way to the right. What? And as I'm turning the wheel to the right, I feel the back swing out, and then we just slide over, like not right off, but onto the embankment. And if we had kept sliding, we would have actually
gone off the embankment.
All right, looks like we've gotten ourselves into a sticky situation. The mud kind of threw us off the road. Thankfully, not too far, because we probably would have been in a ditch. Our tires are completely covered in mud. We're in 4 low, and we can barely get out of this. I don't know. We're probably going to have to put max tracks down. Jessica, you want to grab in my shoes from the back so that I can put those on? And
sure.
Okay.
Unless you want to give it one more shot.
I can give it one more shot.
To try to get into the middle again?
Yeah, let me try one more time.
But, let's see how it goes.
This is fucking thick.
Yeah, it is.
Shoot, we should probably turn around, huh? Because I don't think it's going to get any better down there.
I don't know. It's hard to say. But I don't know that this is the best spot to turn around either.
No, I know. This is fucking crazy. All right, well, let's keep going. What does it look like out there?
Everything's coated.
Here, show us. Look good? Does it look used?
About 10.
Yeah, been too clean for too long. Yeah, now we get to Casper, Wyoming. This is a pretty cool area. A lot of trees, cows, antelopes, mud, all the good things. See you later. And then we drive through Casper and we got to Shoshone National Forest, and we were really hoping to do some backcountry off-road driving in Shoshone National Forest because we've heard so many good things about that forest, and from seeing it from the outside. Shoshone National Forest is behind me. The gate was closed. The gate is up that road there. I mean, it looks freaking amazing. I still want to go there.
That area is
stunning. Yes.
Stunningly gorgeous.
Yeah, it's incredible. But that was the night that I felt like we were back home.
Right.
And what's interesting about that is that I had posted a picture of that place on my personal Instagram, and a friend of ours just out of nowhere writes a comment that says, "Welcome home, guys."
And that felt really good.
It meant a lot to me to read that and to see that, because it really did feel like this is what we signed up for. Mud, dirt roads, open spaces, camping in the middle of a field with snow and cold, and you're just a little bit uncomfortable, but you're also having such a good time.
Yeah.
The next day, we drove out of that area and into some of the most epic scenery I think that we've seen in the United States. Being out here in the midst of such sublime enormity has taught us something we find difficult to explain. Fully embracing the spontaneity and internalizing the rush that comes from driving down new roads seems to require ignoring the learned need to reduce every moment to shareable pixels. There's a clarity that comes from experiencing the peace tucked inside the land's breathing stillness that isn't captured by engagement metrics or that inscrutable algorithms can deduce. For 200,000 years, our species ambled along over mountains and deserts, settling on coasts and along streams everywhere. Seasons passed, men died, returning to dust, and the sun kept rising, lighting new faces with its warm yellow glow, beckoning the passing of time. And now, many of us sit with phones in hand, staring into a blue light, the sun setting outside our windows, and upon finally reaching the end of our feed, we sleep anxiously knowing that tomorrow, our favorite websites and content creators will have something new for us to scroll past. An empty road is a good reminder to take a minute to silence the alerts, to slow down, to watch mist rise from warming asphalt, to smell the pine carried on winter's waning breeze, to let the sun hit your face with a cold light at your fingertips. It's a good reminder that to be human is to struggle, to reflect peacefully, to live free and drive hard. mouse poops. Ooh, I touched one. Oh, gross! All right, Wanderers, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, leave a comment, and if you feel so led, consider supporting us on Patreon. We'll see you guys in the next one.